Hey guys, it's Sucha here, aka Primal Yogi, and today I want to talk to you about how I don't drink coffee anymore. Yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy because I was definitely one of those people who had my morning coffee ritual, and I've kind of been across the entire spectrum. Like, I used to drink coffee kind of more mindlessly, where I was having even like 1 to 2 to 3 cups a day, and then I've really done all the things to make it a morning ritual, meditated with my coffee, sourced the best, most organic, amazingly roasted coffee. And so I've really done it, you could say, in a more conscious way and a more unconscious way. And so me now not drinking coffee, it wasn't actually something I set forth to do. I didn't feel like my coffee habit was unhealthy, although I did have, many mornings where I was like, yep, I really just want my coffee. And so if I was traveling or if I was in a place where I had to get up early and go and I didn't have time for my coffee, I still made it a point to go somewhere and seek for my coffee. So that was a little bit of a habit, a little bit of a limiting habit, because it makes you feel like you need something, and that need or that attachment is actually limiting. But it was so weird, and I'm gonna get a little bit spiritual here for a second because I do believe this is related to my now journey without coffee. But when you are committed to your path of truth, the universe or God or the divine or yourself, it's just gonna clear your path of anything that is distracting you, anything that's pulling you away from you finding your truth, which ultimately is you getting to know yourself, becoming fully aware of yourself. And that is, inevitably up-leveling your consciousness. And so I was doing my coffee ritual. I was having raw cream, which I love, and I was getting locally sourced, organic, amazing coffee and just making this beautiful ritual out of it. And I was sipping it really slowly, and I was actually steeping it more like cold brew, so there wasn't even any excessive heat. And I was actually brewing it really lightly too. But a few months ago, it was a week where I was like, what's going on? I'm really not looking forward to my coffee anymore. It's not feeling good. And then the following week, I still continued to drink it because I was like, what's going on? I love my coffee ritual. I was like, this is just a weird week. I was very attached to my coffee ritual in the morning because it felt like I had my coffee and then the morning starts. And I know that so many of you people who drink coffee or have drank coffee know this feeling of it's almost initiating you into being a human and existing on this planet, right? It's like that initiation. And so the second week I was observing myself with kind of not looking forward to coffee. I was drinking coffee and feeling very anxious and on edge. And I never understood when people were like, coffee makes me so anxious. Cause I was like, what are you talking about? I probably had numbed myself so much, probably running on stress hormones, and just for years, having really strong cold brews, because I really loved the complexity and the taste and the cold feeling of cold brew. It was so refreshing. It's strong though. I mean, if you know cold brew, it's strong. And now actually even having coffee once or twice after completely taking out coffee, I was like, dude, coffee is strong. So just observing this anxiety, and I was like, I think this is trying to tell me something. And I was like, this has to be the coffee, because it was literally activated. And I was like, this is so weird. My entire life, or not my entire life, but the past few years of my adulthood drinking coffee, I hadn't really observed this anxious feeling. And then all of a sudden I was. But what's really weird is that the past few months, I've actually leaned into resting and relaxing and taking it a lot more slow. And so I'm a lot more aware of my waves of emotions and my anxiety and my anger and everything coming up for me. So I was really rested and slow paced. And then now I'm actually coming to this equilibrium. And given I do fast a good amount in the morning, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, it's pretty intuitive, but because I'm fasted as well, having coffee fasted, you're extra feeling it because you don't even have it to digest with food. It was I created a lot of rest for my body, and it was no longer running on stress hormones because I've done so much to just create more fertility and just overall vibrance within myself. So I was having coffee, and then I could really feel the anxiety and just me feeling on edge and me just, I caught myself kind of like pacing around the house, and a few times where I was like, oh my God, it feels like I'm just gonna like need to jump out of my body. And I was like, what's going on? Like I'm feeling out of control. And it was a very similar feeling to if you have a really bad high on weed, or if you're like really not feeling good with too much drinking. And given like all of these things are numbing mechanisms. And so some people may relate because they are stepping into this conscious awareness, and some people may not, because it's not that you're not stepping into conscious awareness, it's just that it still might be numbing a lot, and you might still be on edge and in a stressful way of being that you can't differentiate what it's actually doing to your body. And because I took the time to really commit to my health and heal up, it was like I was really feeling the effects of anything I put into my body. It's another reason why I love the ultimate elimination diet or the carnivore diet so much, is because you're eliminating everything except the basics, which is like basically meat. And then when you reincorporate different things back in, you can feel the benefits. Like when I used to be vegan, or even just, eating whatever standard American teenager diet, I was still, having the healthy things that I thought was healthy, but I was just eating kind of whatever. And people promoted these different health foods, and they're like, have more hemp shells, and have more chia seeds, and have more almond butter, and have more smoothies. And I was just having all of these things, and I couldn't actually even tell what it was doing to my body, because I was basically like overdosing on so many different types of food groups. So simplifying it all the way down and then giving my body true rest made me very sensitive to anything I was putting into my body. Same thing with alcohol, same thing with sweets and sugary stuff. And so I didn't even have to like try to take these things out. It was like my body, my soul was pushing me into this truth that was saying like, coffee is giving you a false morning ritual, a false initiation to the day, a false sense of energy. And I was noticing, and honestly, I didn't have any crazy withdrawal symptoms. I know that some people do, and maybe they're having really strong caffeine. And that's when I'd say, if you are, trying to consciously take coffee out, first ask yourself, why are you trying to take the coffee out? What is it that you're actually trying to heal or improve? Or why do you think it's bad? And then maybe switching to decaf, so that you're just lowering the amount of caffeine, and then maybe making that half a cup. So you're weaning yourself off of it, basically. I actually pretty much replaced my coffee with cacao, and I felt that cacao is a really amazing activator, a heart opener. It still comes from a bean, but it doesn't have caffeine like it does of the coffee bean, but it is energizing and stimulating. But it's a very calm sense of energy, and I still feel like that ritual of having a drink kind of initiates me into the day. But even then I realized, I was like, oh my God, some days I feel like I need to have my cacao. And I'm in this place where I'm really trying to play around with, what do I really need in my morning ritual? What are other ways I can create a habit that I'm activated in? Humans are creatures of habit, so we're gonna probably feel comfortable doing the same thing or having our same go-to drink. It's like a comfort thing. With yoga, it is so much more than the asana or the movement practice. Yoga is a philosophy, and what it's really teaching you is what can you constantly let go of, and what can you consistently create a new practice or discipline from, to allow yourself to elevate into your highest, most best self, so that you can be a clear channel or vessel for the divine. And the divine, again, can be whatever you're feeling. But I truly believe taking out coffee was one of those avenues for me of my yoga practice. And again, it was something that I was initiated into. I wasn't even trying to actively take coffee out. And that's why if you're just blindly restricting and taking something out, it might not work. If you have a deeper meaning, or if you're feeling called into your truth, that's something, there's substance there, it's real meaning. I don't even feel called to drink any coffee. If I'm at a coffee shop, there's no other options. I mean, I got a cold brew once or twice, and I drank like maybe a quarter of it, and I just told them to ice it up, and I was just very slowly sipping, having it very consciously early in the morning when I knew I was going to exert a lot of energy, and I almost wanted like an Adderall, like focused energy. But it was in that moment that I truly realized, like, everything is meant to be used medicinally. So think about how you're using coffee. Is there a way that you can use it like it's medicine? How can you actually use it to help you in certain ways? Of course, a lot of us can say it helps me every morning, but that is an attachment. That is a mindless habit. And this is not fun for a lot of people who drink coffee to hear, but it's incredible how empowered you feel when you don't have this like weakness or lingering thing that essentially you're addicted to. And so as I've taken out coffee, I've really tapped into my energy levels, and it's pushing me closer into my truth, because I don't have this false like caffeine energy where I'm going through dips and different energies. I have such a balance throughout the day, and my digestion and my adrenals are so much healthier, and I actually feel so much more hydrated. I actually drink way less water, which is really cool because I can invest in the higher quality water and just sip on it when I need, and using, you know, the real foods for hydration and nourishment. But the food thing is a whole nother story. But it's been a really beautiful journey. I'm realizing really truly what are the things in life that I'm numbing, and what am I making mindless patterns out of. Even right now, the chapter I'm in, I'm not telling myself I can never have coffee again. I'm really going to lean into the seasons and chapters, and maybe there'll be a season I drink coffee again, but I right now know that it is so not in my truth to be drinking coffee, and I feel so happy I was guided divinely to this, because honestly, I've been saving a bunch of money. I've been saving this like extra time and energetic effort focused on like, I need to have my coffee, and I feel like a fucking robot sometimes. And I see people around me, and not to judge, but honestly kind of judging, because I'm just like, wow, like literally you just need your coffee that bad that you're gonna just down black coffee. And I'm like, wow. Because even when I drink coffee, there's no way in hell I could have black coffee. So with that new year energy, it's kind of nice to kind of take a step back and just see where you're at with the things that you're really mindful with, and where are you still numbing? Where are you still a little bit mindless? It starts with the awareness. It doesn't immediately start with, let me take this out and add this into my routine, and being so cutthroat with yourself and so hard on yourself. It's not gonna work. Sometimes just watching a video like this can be the first step into awareness, and it'll keep coming up for you, and maybe you won't be ready for a year, maybe you'll be ready tomorrow or right now to take out coffee or experiment with that, what that feels like for you. But really with this message here today, I wanted to share my process in taking out coffee out of my life, and how healing it's been, and how much closer it's brought me to my truth and my spiritual path. And who would have thought, you know, I'd be making a video on coffee and spirituality, but it's all so connected. So I hope this was helpful in some way. And if you have any questions on the coffee journey or just any substances in general, please drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And with that being said, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, amazing health journey. I hope you're continuously being brought to your truth and praying into that. I'm praying for you to be divinely guided closer into your truth. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you haven't already. It really supports this and this time, and kind of reminds me that like this is worth doing right now. So appreciate it. Thank you.